The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Long before the sects divided, there was the enveloping darkness. It was in this dark humanity learned to trust the light, to run from shadows, and most importantly, to fear.
Brutality and superstition walked hand in hand in this dark time, but also hope. Hope that the heroes of this age could hold back the monsters and illuminate the path through the shadows.
The children of Cain are no different. Some run from the shadows, some turn to the light, and some become the monsters of legend passed down from one hearth to another.
Their story is one of loss, one of struggle, and one of death. For what can survive in the wake of those that cannot die?
This is what it means to be a myth made flesh. This is what it means to be a vampire in the Dark Ages.
Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the real world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Cainite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios' Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. I am, of course, storyteller Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I will be playing Olga of Kiev. Saint Olga of Kiev, equal to apostles. Formerly known as Elena Thorndaughter of Clan La Sombra.
Ginny Varnish is playing the ever so humble Peregrine Gwyn Sullivan of Clan Asimite, playing a Toreador.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu.
Hello everyone, I'm the Ravnos Archon, and I have the pleasure of playing Agustín Diego de Cartagena, Cardenal de la Cruz, Primera Espada de Valencia, Guarda Real de Aragón e Barcelona, Estraga Principal de Belgrade of Clan La Sombra.
That's a hell of a name, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Season 3 of our Vampire Dark Ages Chronicle. When we were last with this group, we'd left off with this coterie of vampires in the year 1250. It is now the year 1314. And in this time, you'll find that the Inquisition has begun to openly use torture on innocents and vampires alike. Constantinople, long sacked, has finally recovered as much as it can from the Crusade attacks, though it never does regain its former glory. The Mongols have invaded a second time. The Transylvanian nobles at this point have made their own legislator, the Diet, as it was called. And prior to this, much of the rule of law was handled by the wise old men of the villages. Now, the nobles are exerting direct control, which has begun to cause friction through Transylvania as a whole. In the cities, the guilds have taken over, and while it is having a strong effect on the economy, it also has granted a level of power to the merchant class that they did not have before. Let's see what else is going on of major note. King Andrew III, the last king of the Arpad line, has died. Now, that doesn't mean that the Ventru Arpads are not gone, but their mortal descendants have died off. We've now entered the age that the landowning boyars have begun renting lands to peasants, charging rather high rates to the peasants to work lands that are to provide food. And the Templars have been arrested, disbanded, and dissolved. The last supposed Grand Master, just this year, was finally caught, tortured, and burned at the stake. And as we opening up this season, this coterie of vampires still ruling Belgrade, who has honestly had a bit of a boon. The rise of the guilds has made an already strong economic city even stronger. But as we begin this, Peregrine, you've actually managed to get hold of a book that struck your attention because it's a rather heavy tome, of course, but it seems to be a church treatise on various pagan religions. Now, most of the book is damaged with rot, water damage. The ink is smeared and can't be made out. But there was a passage in there talking about cupola, which is why it was brought to you by one of your contacts. And I'm actually going to show the players the only readable portion of the book. And so because we have viewers, I guess I should read that as well to them. Savrog, Bailabog, and chief among them the demon god Cupula, whose offspring infused the very soil with madness. His dark heart ripped asunder. The demon is said to rest beneath the Carpathians, haunting the lands and spreading his corruption to all those who touch upon his dread demesne. I can never say that word. It is whispered that the demon sleeps, gaining strength to rise in terrible wrath when at last he awakens. His burning malice is seen in the creation of a legendary blood-red bloom known as the sacred fire flower of Cupola. With it, sorcerers bind and loose demons. The cult dedicated to this abhorrent spirit gifts the demon with sacrifices, slaying babes for their pure innocent blood, which the demon consumes. Thus fortified, Cupola's corruption spreads even further, trailing lunacy in its wake. The quaking of the earth, the foul rains and lightnings that destroy crops and homes, great windstorms that tear the fields and forests asunder, all these speak with the demon's voice. May God grant us that we discover. And then it fades off there. And it's funny that you've gotten this, because Gwen, the last 2 years have had some terrible weather for not just your lands, but all of Transylvania. Weather patterns have destroyed crops. Blizzards have come through, floods, droughts, landslides. For the past 2 years, it has been much as what is described here, the land itself turning against those who live on it. And with winter now gone, a winter that strained even your abilities to keep the city fed and keep starvation at bay, roads have cleared. And we open up with you all inside one of the tunnels under your city. Tunnels built by Zelios himself.
I'm hoping this translation is correct. It's explaining everything that's been going on for the past 2 years. I'm gonna tell you, I've never heard of a fire flower before. But if there's some sources around, I'm sure we can find them, trying to go scaling the mountains where they shouldn't be going.
Awfully convenient that this information would turn up to you now.
Everything's inconvenience, or at least in someone's plan to, whether or not explain this or that. But the book itself, I kinda redo it at all. It's completely damaged. By convenience, design, or whatever. But at least it's information we can turn around and use. Trying to quell the humans, so that I can at least try and get more storage for food for the summer, for the spring and summer. And then try to work on for the fall and winter of this upcoming year.
Storyteller,
Yes.
how are the humans doing with all this?
For those who live in Transylvania, there's always been bad years, bad cycles. But they are superstitious folk. They know what their land is. They know the legends surrounding it. They've begun to talk that Cupola stirs, that the demon wakes once again. They have no idea of what the Tzimisce do every year, and it has been continued even through this, to keep Cupola at least somewhat at bay. But obviously it's not working as well as it used to.
I can't help but wonder if your broodmate, Snatcher, was actually successful in what he was attempting. It sounds as if he was not.
By the same token, was it meant to keep out the same things?
My understanding was he was trying to contain the demon.
I cannot speak to his thoughts.
I'm not
or
sure anyone
design.
can.
But ultimately, I do trust what he's built. Whether it performs the function it was requested or the function that it was meant for, we have yet to see.
Are we the only city that is suffering from this cupola?
No.
No.
No. Then it is not just the design. It's something more.
Perhaps the demon became aware and started fighting against it.
Wouldn't be surprising. Especially with the powers that you have with the Kildonic sorcery.
Yes.
Our friend's gone, isn't he? The one that we put in the hole?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Long gone.
Long
You
gone.
know, that sometimes I forget, and I'm writing all the time, so I think I've got like what, billion different volumes now.
I have someone that I can reach out to as far as the Clan of Dragons is concerned, to try and get a perspective from their knowledge. But what do we know that could give us profound, better footing here against this? This is a monster we cannot see, we cannot touch.
I have a contact I haven't talked to in a bit, but I can send a missive out to her. One of the local leaders. You met her about 65 years ago.
I could reach out to Dragomir, Sherazina's brother.
Could you also speak with your seer?
Absolutely.
That seems like an avenue we should look into.
I'm actually due to see Vesna soon.
And as you're talking, Snatcher, your servant we'll call her for now. I don't know how you refer to her in general, but the old woman that you had rescued from the priests and the Inquisition that you have since embraced, tonight she is serving as one of the servants in the building. She's basically running around to keep things going. She comes walking into the room, looks rather distressed. Lord Snatcher, I couldn't keep him out. I couldn't stop him.
And I'll just move her to the side, keep her near me, and then look to where she's indicating.
Into the room strides a man. He's well-muscled but unkempt. He's tall, a bushy red beard, wild, uncombed red hair. His blue eyes glow almost with a power, though between his pale face and his fangs, you know this is a Canite. He's wearing a brown tunic that is a very old-style tunic, with, of all things, a poorly fitting Roman breastplate that is rusted. And he carries a spear in his left hand.
Does it seem like he's aggressive as he's walking in, or just stoic?
His fangs are barred, but everyone give me perception alertness. Difficulty on this is 7.
Certainly.
First roll of the night. Does my detect a weakness specialty come into effect?
Not for this one, no.
Dang.
I'm not even going to ask because I can tell my specialty won't.
What's
He's
the difficulty?
literally not
7.
sneaking up on me.
I got 2 successes.
I'll take 2 successes as well.
I got 2 too. We're a clan of 2s.
Let's see what Snatcher gets.
4 successes.
4 successes.
Oh, look at you.
And you recognize this man. You haven't seen him for a very, very, very long time. On the streets of Budapest, when you first went and were sent by your sires, he was standing in the streets spouting prophecies at you. And then you proceeded to burn his followers when he attempted to set them upon you. But as he looks and sees you, he takes the butt of his spear and slams it on the floor, and he points a finger, and it's a dirty, crusted with blood finger, at you all. Hear me. Though I long ago warned you, thou hast done nothing to quell this demon's awakening. The first signs has seen fulfillment, and yet you wait. Yet you remain idle while the land's heart is ripped from its bleeding chest. Do you not see that the eternal night is upon us? He stirs, and with him the ancient ones groan upon their stony beds, their hunger shrieking for a vitae. The loss of the Holy Land, the breaking of the Holy Order, and the downfall of a mighty Magus. The sign has come, the first of those that lead to the ever blackness and death eternal. You stand within this whirlwind. 7 more remain. What cannot be stopped must be transformed. On you rests our redemption or destruction. Do not fail me again. And when he finishes speaking, he collapses to the floor, writhing with a bloody foam coming from his mouth as he jerks and spasms hard enough that were he mortal, you'd be afraid he was breaking his own bones doing it.
I would like to stake him if this is all right with everybody else.
You know what? Go for it.
If you want to get near those limbs, Augustine, go for it.
As you get closer to him, he suddenly sits up, stops moving, and looks at you, confused.
Octavio,
What happened?
you stormed in here and spouted prophecy at us, telling us we are not doing enough and that we must do more, but not telling us what we must do.
And he scratches his hair, and he picks something out of it, throws it in the floor.
Do you need a bath?
Ugh. I think he does.
Just needs something.
Bath
Ugh,
is
he
not.
smells.
I spouted prophecy again?
Yes! Telling
you
us
did.
about the demon.
Ugh, and you smell
almost
horrible.
as if the prophetic side believes that we work for it.
Right.
I know, right?
Meanwhile, we send
we don't.
representatives to go fight it every year.
I've
That's
done
not-
it several times.
That won't fix.
Then what
And then-
will?
I don't know.
Well, then don't be shouting at us that we're not doing enough. If nobody knows, how do we know what to do?
No, it's the signs, the
I know.
signs of the end.
And if
That
we
will sign
don't
to the
know
end
what
of you
to
getting a
do,
bath.
how can we stop it? We can't.
I don't know what they all mean either. I only see it bits and pieces. It's clear when it's upon us. But until it happens, it's vague. And there shall come
Vague enough you could find a bath, can't you?
there shall come to pass the loss of the Holy Land to generations of crusaders, the breaking of a holy order. And I saw,
Yes, the Templars have fallen.
yes, the knights and their tabards, and the downfall of this mighty magus.
What mighty magus?
I don't know. I haven't seen his face. I can't see his face. And there was a new one. The passing of the years. And the fires of the righteous shall bring upon us a parting of kin, one from the other. And the children shall revile their parents, slaying them in their beds. And brother shall smite brother. That one is dark indeed. But I don't know what it means.
Perhaps the burning times are upon us.
I do apologize for invading your domain like this. Unfortunately, I am not.
We have had enough experience with your clan to understand there is urgency when things move upon you.
It's not that. It's not my clan. It's something else. I am bound to that monster. I am bound to the demon Kubala.
Do you wish to be put out of your misery?
No. He would just find another. As long as I am stuck here with him, it gives me a chance. It gives us a chance. Chance to break this cycle, to break these prophecies, to put an end to it, to stop what's coming.
The last time we crossed paths, you sent your followers to attack us.
Yes.
Why?
I hope to avoid the prophecies from coming true.
If it had not been us, it would have been someone else, as you say.
Come to learn. But you are central to it somehow. You are a chain, a part of it. And the hope was to break the chain would be to break the cycle.
The only way to break that chain is to break the demon itself.
I've come to
Which I
realize
believe
I was
is-
wrong. You did not cause the Holy Land to fall.
No.
You did not cause the Templars to be dissolved.
Oh no, that was church greed.
You did not cause the downfall of a mighty magus, or cause brother to fight brother.
If nothing else, we were here to bear witness.
I don't understand your part in it all. I don't understand why you're so important.
Be careful, you'll make a girl have an ego.
Do you happen to know what a next action, next step, next bit of the plan might be?
I only can see the events as they're coming. They become more clear But I can tell you, Holy Land fell. The Templars were disbanded. Do not know if the mighty Magus has fallen yet. But I do know the parting of kin is yet to come.
Are these words to only be interpreted from the perspective of humanity, or should we think of it from our side as well?
I have a feeling this is all about us.
Both, even.
Well, of course, what we do has repercussions.
Oh well, an Nosferatu can dream.
I've seen religions rise, I've seen religions fall, I've seen orders rise, orders fall. It's a circle and a test of times, to be honest. It's human nature.
The church has
well-
become more aggressive.
Mhm.
If they are targeting us, it will get worse.
It's no more than what the Romans did to the Catholics or Christians when they started.
You say that.
And then they turned the
But
tide.
the church has the backing of my clan.
Yes,
It's
your
different.
sire.
Not just my sire. There are others, even more ruthless than him.
I was hoping they'd put a quell to it.
Yes, well, if they see it as a tool to eliminate enemies, why not abuse it?
They have certainly learned from the past. They are not going to repeat mistakes.
Pity.
Oh, that's the problem. Our kind never learn
Exactly.
from our mistakes. We keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. It is the curse that was laid upon us on Cain. And it just goes from sire to child, generation to generation. That's why I've come to realize we can't stop the prophecy. What we can do is
Survive it.
transform it. The events will happen. They must happen. They have to happen. It's a matter of making sure that the end result saves the most.
Mm.
A heavy burden.
Do you need refreshment?
No, I cannot stay. I really can't. I didn't even know I was coming here. I've got to go and deal with my own thing. I must return to Obuda so that I may commune with the trees and the rocks of the land to see if I can find what that monster plans next. It's just hard to travel the roads now.
One matter before you leave, and I'll gesture to our dear sweet hedge witch of a woman. If you would please apologize, while I understand that the prophecy can take over, you did still disrupt my child's work. If you will apologize for that, everything else will be forgiven from me.
I do apologize for my intrusion upon your domain and the disruption of the guests in your domain's activities. It is not my right to do so. I have violated the laws of Cain, and I ask forgiveness. And the old woman looks at him. That's better than my grandson would have said it. And for once, he actually gets a smile on his face. My good lady, I am older than any grandson you've ever seen. I thank you for your generosity and your understanding.
Safe travels to you, Octavio.
Thank you. And good luck on your journey to come.
So we have a journey. Thank you.
Don't know what it is, but I see it.
All right.
And he turns, and obviously he knows the way he's coming.
Obviously.
He knows how to leave it. And he heads out of your area, out of your room. And the old lady looks at you, Snatcher looks at the group. I'm going to follow behind him just to make sure he doesn't get up to anything he shouldn't.
Please.
Please.
Thank you.
And remember, so long as you are within a place of authority, you are not making demands of anyone to listen to you. You are following proper protocol and authority.
I tried.
Of course.
And then he made me move.
If you do not wish to experience that again, there is certain things we can do to make your mind resilient.
You know, Lord Snatcher, I've known men like that. I don't think you want to be the immovable object when that force comes through.
Oh, no, because they will physically move you if they can't command you to.
You don't move, you shatter.
Yeah.
I will follow him. Make sure he leaves. By your leave, my lord.
And please, no more my lord business.
No,
I beg you.
It's proper. I am in the company of the nobility. I may snatch you up by your ears when we're by ourselves.
As you should.
But not in
Do
public.
you? That I would like to see.
She is an old grandmother. She still has.
Yes.
that
She still does the grandma thing, yeah.
She's treating you like a wee child now.
And she slips out, leaving that comment to hang in the air as she
course she
leaves.
does.
Yeah. Tell me, Snatcher, does she prefer the right ear or the left ear when she does clap you?
And he just muttered in English, "Shut the fuck up."
Heard that. I know exactly what you're saying there.
Fantastic. Don't translate it.
Oh, it's just so funny. I won't, but still.
Well, if we're going on a trip, I need to make sure of a couple things. And Storyteller, if I just glance vaguely, are there rats?
Oh, you've got rats.
I try to keep them everywhere,
They're-
but
they don't intrude, but they're always either nearby or just out of sight.
then I'll start disseminating to the rest of them that, it looks like I'm going somewhere. For how long, I don't know, but listen to her, listen to dear Gran, and just, keep an eye on things, don't get in trouble, all that shit.
It is quite a coincidence that he warns us of traveling and then tells us to have safe travels.
Yes.
My
At the,
penguins.
at the exact same time, an excerpt from a book about the demon is read to us.
Check your message, Olga.
Timing.
Fate, destiny.
Ugh.
I'm not a fan of the side of destiny that we're on.
What is interesting? I could not sense him the moment he left this room.
So you're tied to this world. Or at least the land you're on.
The land was hiding him from me. If I find a way to destroy this damn demon, I will. I get really tired of bastards interfering with my control.
The last time anyone hid from you was the one we've locked in the cellar, no?
Yes,
Aye.
but this is the land hiding him. He's not hiding from me.
Do you believe he's a practitioner like you, or do you
No.
believe it's something else?
I believe it is the demon. He said he was bound to it.
So what are the chances every prophecy he spouts is just that?
A warning?
Demon's machinations.
Yes.
I don't speak to understand anything about something like that.
I'm not so sure how much control that demon has in Rome. So the fall of the Templars, well, I don't believe was his doing.
The Templars fell in France, actually.
Yes, but it was done in Rome. Commanded in Rome.
Yeah, King Philip of France started it all, and then it
Yeah.
went from there downhill quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You could say it spiraled.
Yeah. So needless to
spiral.
say, I believe that there might be some awareness of things and using them for machinations. Do you see what I say?
Yes. Do you have a mentor of these sorceries
Yes.
that you have learned? So
I
we could
do.
go on maybe.
One of the princes of Poland.
Oh, that is a powerful sorcerer. Could we perhaps pull a favor to speak with him?
Her.
Her? I did not mean.
I know it is rare for Zemitsi to be female.
Those
She
are the ones you
is
must worry for.
extraordinary.
She might have guidance in this matter.
She may.
A different
I'll send a
perspective?
missive, see if I can gain an audience. I don't have much desire to pursue the sorcery much further. It serves my purpose. I'm aware of what happens around land I claim as my own.
Very powerful.
Exactly. And usually, individuals cannot hide from me. Even with your gifts, Snatcher.
Makes me long for the days when I'm no longer in Transylvania.
You don't like it here?
I don't like being noticed.
Hmm.
The location is secondary.
But it is good for knowing what is going on and ensuring security. Which, considering my spheres of influence, that is important. I need to know if an assassination attempt is about to happen to someone that is valuable to my plans. But yes, I can send a missive. I'll send one to her and one to Dragomir to find out more about this demon. Dragomir may or may not tell me. He seems inclined to be friendly towards me since I embraced Shelazina, but I don't know how far that will extend. My mentor, she's... well... yes, I may have better luck with her.
I do not know the extent of his powers, but we also do have Ragu that we can call on.
Radu?
Ah, yes, Radu.
I'm still of the opinion that the less we speak to and of him, the better.
Yes, correct.
And I would rather use him as a desperate attempt than simple information gathering.
I only bring him up because he is easier to contact than your friend Sasha Vikos. Micah Vikos. Excuse me. I had a prophecy.
Don't make me laugh. I have to be serious vampire time.
Damn it.
No fun allowed.
This is before the snap, okay?
That is quotable as fuck, though. I had a prophecy.
Only bring up Radu because he is easier to contact than your friend Micah Vikos.
You cordially
Why?
greet someone once and then suddenly they're your friend.
No, he is your friend.
He
He's
is a
not wrong.
dick.
He is a Zamisi.
True.
It says everything you need to know.
I do not count Zamisi as my friends. I count them as association.
A friendly association that wants to be even more friendlier.
Fantastic.
Now, he was quite
and
interested in you.
He wasn't that sure, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's why I think he.
I dare say he was smitten.
Wow.
There's no perception empathy roll needed. Snatcher does not believe that Micah Vikos was smitten. Not for a fucking second. You can see his thought process. It's very clearly, but I'm Nosferatu.
And doesn't matter
That
the clan.
means nothing.
No, it does not.
He
You
could
don't
be
think he's a
beguiled
forward
by
thinker?
Exactly.
Do you
Your
know what
guiling
those
ways.
who practice the arts of metamorphosis can become?
Very true.
Things
Anything you
beyond your
want.
imagining. You think you being Nosferatu is what, a turnoff?
I thought you are a
It's
challenge.
also just a matter of there's no urges, there's no desires. What is there to act upon?
Who says
Oh,
there's
you
no
don't kn-
desires?
You're
My
assuming,
friend.
Maria.
That's just you.
No, I'm saying for me.
Oh,
I killed any ideas or thoughts I had ever had about that.
That is your
Perhaps
friend, my
that was
friend.
already dead before.
Oh.
Also true.
Okay.
Stealing was more fun than women. Stealing was more fun than men. Stealing was more fun.
Hi, but the thing
You
is,
found your
maybe he
passion.
wants to. True, but maybe he's going to steal your heart. Maybe he wants to woo you.
Ooh.
Think about it this way: you're wooing and having a Nosferatu lover. You're talking about having a lot of a dip into an information pool that you hadn't had before.
Would you be more inclined to accept his advances if he was holding onto one of your ears? I'm just trying to find the baseline for you, my friend.
God help you if any of that star metal disappears.
So Peregrine will just pat her side. Oh, he's quite all right. It's Salim.
I would never turn my gifts
And
against you,
you
my
will
friend.
deserve that, brother.
I
You
have-
two are ribbing him a little too much.
Too much, yes.
Although I will say, speaking on enterprise and mercantile, most of my efforts within the city have actually been reduced due to the Merchants Guild. They've managed to upset quite a lot of money, and it is now only more flowing through legitimate channels.
I can't help that. I'm good at what I do.
It's just interesting. I'm so used to free enterprise for my businesses.
Perhaps
you like to
establish
make-
some pawnbrokers.
Right, that'd be good.
It will have to be the next start. I'm also looking, and Snatcher will glance off in the direction that his child went. I'm also looking for a merchant of some decent economic and mathematical skills.
That's who
easy.
you need to talk to right there.
My brood seems to be leaning towards monetary gain, and I wish to encourage any.
Okay.
But they need the education.
Oh, it all boils down to education. I've been telling you guys this for years.
Of course it does.
Snatcher, you know your people are always welcome and we can turn around and train them up real quick if you want. It's not a problem.
That's how they get you to start reading books.
She seems to be more focused on her... You'd know this best, Peregrine. Faith? Is that what you would say paganism is? Is a faith?
Well, it's a faith because there are several parts of it, but it's more of spirituality and more of connecting with the divine in your own regard without any
standardized religion coming in and telling you what for.
It is a way of connecting to the world around you.
That seems to be more what she's focused on at the moment. That and assisting around the city. But
Former pagan.
Current pagan.
current Christian? I don't even know if that stands
Current
anymore.
saint.
Yeah, you can't keep rubbing that in, aren't you?
We are in
Yes.
the presence.
Really?
Yes, and we're
Seriously?
so sorry for forgetting, Elena.
My friend, we use the new name now.
Oh,
Saint
I'm a-
Olga of Kiev.
Yes, well, in our circles. In our circles. Hey, I will use what I need to enhance my appeal to snobby Zamitzi and Ventril and everything else that runs things around here.
and the odd gullible sire.
Yes. I'm sure this was his doing.
It probably was. Keep you in place.
Yes.
It still
Remind
seems to.
me of what I am bound to.
I
power
see it
he
more as it
wields.
feeding into the plan that you set forth when you explained it to us the first time. Become his wife, become his sister under God, and then canonization. I would think would only make it more difficult, not easier.
Well, I am following in my dear father's footsteps just a little bit. My next protege is, well, the priest you gave me, Gwyn.
Aye, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Sherazina so far is doing well post-embrace. She is,
Good.
yes. And if we are going on a journey, I will leave her in my stead as a test. But hopefully
Well,
Miguel will stay. He will be good to keep an eye on things.
I will keep my child there here to protect her as well then.
Excellent, thank you.
Miguel is
Of
due
course.
back in town in a few days. He had gone to see Mother Constance.
Mhm.
Doing one of his pilgrimages, he goes to see her from time to time. He's due back in a few days.
Good.
If the weather doesn't hold him up, which
Mhm.
is weather's rough, but gangrel.
While I will be leaving my child here, she will not be managing my work. That will be William.
Of course, of course.
I would not expect her to understand half of the methods used.
No,
William would know.
she was not good as long as Sherazina was.
No,
She was not fostered as long.
You took quite an excellent amount of time to make sure that that fruit was ripe.
It must be perfect.
Whereas I can cut away unripe portions to reveal the softer meat.
The only one I think around here that that could give Sherazina, could have given Sherazina a run for her money would have been Mario, but
I won't touch your Mario.
no, I appreciate that. I have
But-
plans.
I'm sure you do. That is yours to handle as you see fit. No, I don't like to have too many at once. Yes, I have a number of present ghouls, but those ghouls they will never see embrace. They serve their purpose as they are. I have 2 assistants, 2 guards. Took me a long time to find those guards, though. I had to go through a few.
Oh yes, I remember getting rid of the bodies.
Hmm.
A few.
I do appreciate both of your service. But yes, I finally learned a trick to make these more prepared. So, shouldn't have too many problems with their minds being taken out from under my control.
That's fair. Yeah.
Or getting us distracted by fire that isn't actually there.
Exactly.
I almost started a habit of checking every flame that I encountered from then on.
A
that would
moment,
have been
I feel
idiocy.
someone. Ask your rats who is approaching.
I'll check with them who's near. Or is there one near?
a stone-faced man. That's how they describe him. With two legs.
It's either Zelios or we'll be meeting one of those rumored gargoyles we've been hearing about.
Hmm.
And I turn and look expectantly to see which one it is.
My hand is on my sword just in case it is a gargoyle then.
My hands are pulling out daggers, hiding them in the long sleeves.
I'm just standing there.
And as you're waiting, into the room steps, yes, somebody you've met a few times. Zelios wearing, he's still got his traveler's clothes. They're dusty, dirty. Obviously, he's been caught in the rain a few times and in the mud. His face still that hard stone look. His skin almost like granite, angular. Definitely inhuman. And with him is a man you've never seen. He's dressed all in leathers. He's obviously been traveling, though he does seem to take a lot of care keeping his leathers clean. And he has a pouch that you can clearly see is wrapped with wire around the opening of it to keep it closed and sealed. Right here, everybody, I think we're going to go to break. It's a little bit earlier than normal, but due to what's coming in the scene, I don't want to break the scene up. So we will go to break right here, everybody. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Enjoy the music for our, first music of the season for season 3. And Will doesn't play well with others either.
I don't. You watch.
Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, well, we have arrived in year 1314. And as this group gathered to talk about a book Peregrine had gotten hold of, Gwyn's book mentioned the demon Capella. They had a visitor, Octavio, who they had met well over a century ago. At this point, 2 centuries ago, who came speaking prophecy and warning them. And then as we were heading to break, Zelios had come, this time with a mortal beside him, and had entered their domain. And as he stands there, he looks at each of you in turn. Good evening. I would like
Zelios.
to ask your permission to enter your abode.
Granted.
This messenger I found on the road, he was coming to see you. So since we were heading the same direction, I decided it would be easier if we came together. Now, you've seen him before in various moods. You've not seen him this stoic overall. He's changed in the years since you've last seen him.
Could I maybe roll some perception empathy to see if he's slipping any more than he was before?
Go ahead.
Elena's going to look at the messenger and says, "You have a message for us?"
Yes, milady, may I please have your name?
Elena Thorndaughter?
That will suffice. And he reaches and pulls this pouch off of his side and hands it to you. And it's a small leather pouch. I bring you this from my master, along with his greetings. He bade me to tell you that he trusts that you shall act upon his wishes, and I am to await your answers to return to him.
Do you need refreshment while you await?
No, I am fine. I have a place in the town, an inn, that I can stay at.
Very well. And she will open up the parcel.
Yep. And Zelios is just standing there still looking at, what'd you get, Snatcher?
I'm guessing diff 6?
Yep.
All right. Well, after a 1, I get 2 successes.
He's definitely a lot more, you'd almost say possibly in control than he used to be. But It's definitely not the Zelios you saw before. It's not. Perhaps it's because he's not burning in the passion that he a lot of times was in. Inside there's a letter. It is wax sealed and closed. But as you pull the letter out, half of a twisted gold ring set with a carved ruby falls out of the center of the parchment. It is a ring you've seen before because you own the other half of this ring. It was given to you by Micah Vikos that night in the past where he gave you a large sum of money to finish your job.
Mm-hmm. She takes the ring and holds it in her hand while she cracks the seal.
And I will show the players the letter. And just because we have viewers, I will read it. Greetings to you all. You will remember this token, which you agreed to honor. I now request that you aid me as I once assisted you. It is my fervent hope that the duty I've asked of you shall not prove too onerous. It has been made known to me that an old acquaintance of mine by the name of Goratrix travels to Transylvania. He has been summoned to the Tremere Chantry known as Sioris. This is a fortress that rests amongst the Transylvanian Alps. He is alone in this hostile land where so many of my own clanmates would wish to do him in. Thus, I make my request to you. Go to Timisoara, to the crypt beneath the Chapel of the Holy Sepulchre. There my agents shall make certain he awaits your coming. Though clever, they lack a Canaanite's powers and stamina to make it through the land, so guard him through these dangerous lands and escort him to the Chantry. He knows the way to Sioris and has been commanded to appear there. I would not like to see him fall before my Zemitzi kin. You can almost hear the smirk as he says that, or he wrote that. That would be far too lenient a punishment for one such as he. No, with your help, he shall not escape attending upon his usurper brethren. It is my great hope that you understand me clearly. I offer you my thanks. And should you accept, your debt to me is paid. With fondness, Micah Vikos.
She passes the letter to whomever is next to her. You may tell your master it is agreed.
I thank you.
You are dismissed.
And he turns and then turns back. I've kind of lost my way. Can you send someone to guide me out, please?
Follow the rat.
Of course, my lord. And he turns and hurries from it.
And I tell a rat, take him to the main entrance.
And the moment he leaves the room, suddenly there's an animated look on Zelios' face. That's perfect. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to help me as well. That's why I came here.
Did you read our letter?
No, but I was coming here. Sioris, that must be the place I was looking for.
How did you know it was Sioris? I did not read it out loud.
I built this place. Come now, I can see everything going on in here when I'm in here.
Convenient.
That would have been nice to know beforehand.
Slipped my mind.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I wish I could learn such a trick.
It involves the lines of power and the runes.
You will have to teach me
sigils.
one day.
But that is neither here nor there. Sioris must be the key to put the demon to rest. See, here's...
Or it is when a great magus will fall.
What is that you're talking of?
Octavio stopped by. Not even...
Oh, he's a madman. Don't listen to him.
He's bound to the demon.
Salient points.
No.
He's bound to the demon. He's not going to like what I have planned. And you can tell he's like...
his prophecy from the demon.
Zelios is positively vibrating with energy now all of a sudden.
All right, so now
what
he's
is your
back to his
plan?
usual self.
See, I didn't know when I was building these fortresses what I was doing. I was building a geometric web. I didn't know it at the time. My recent trip to Egypt taught me so much about this. Most of the fortresses sit atop the ley lines. I don't know if you know what those are. They carry tremendous energy and powers of the earth, you see. And when linked with certain rooms, they form a web that should be capable of holding cupola in it. There's 2 castles left I have to carve on. I should be able to take care of one of them, which is the Stibbenbergen, which is Ventilla Basarab's stronghold. And that's for Olga there. That is Sherazina's great-great-grandfather, his fortress. I knew there had to be another fortress. I didn't know where it was, but it had to be in the Alps to balance the whole thing, to balance the symbol. That must be Sioris. So, if you're going there anyway, if you can carve some runes into their walls for me, I can teach you what you gotta draw them out, show you what they have to be. It'll complete the pattern, and it should
Show me what
find
I
the
need to
black
draw.
heart of this demon.
I'll do the drawing. It's no problem.
Show us all. So that way, if anyone gets tampered with, someone else can do it.
I'll need parchment to draw it on.
Oh, like this?
Came to the right place, my friend.
And he
Do you want-
begins,
Would you like a... Here.
he begins drawing symbols and patterns on this parchment. Some of them greatly remind you of a tablet you made copies of so long ago. There's almost a cuneiform symbology to it that you've seen before on these tablets that you extracted from the basement of a collapsed tower as you were building a fortress.
Did
I
we
remember
send
these.
those to Radu or the gold one? Or did we
Kept
just
the
melt
gold.
that down?
Yes.
Melted the gold down.
You kept the gold one. You melted it after making a copy of the symbols on it.
Yep.
The other ones you sent to him after you made copies of the symbols on those too.
Okay, so we have the information.
Yes.
Gwen has all of that.
Well, that didn't take too long to come up.
He draws you. I mean, it's an extensive pattern, but he's so quick doing it. I mean, you can tell he's incensed as he does it.
Glad I kept the copies.
And once he's done, he looks at it. That should be all you have to do. Just carve those in the wall. Doesn't matter where
That's
on the
not a
walls,
problem.
anywhere.
Okay. Simple scribe job, no problem.
We'll still do our best to keep them out of the way so they aren't messed
Aye.
with later.
Of course.
And as he calms down, you see once again that stoic look start to settle over his face. Thank you.
Sure. Haven't scribed a good carving in ages.
Is there anything else that you would require?
No, that is all I need. I'm going to attempt to get to the castle, Sienbergen, to inscribe on those walls.
And please be specific. Where, building-wise, would you like us to carve?
On the walls of the fortress. It has to be a fortress. It is a requirement that each of the anchor ports be a fortress.
No problem.
Is this a
Okay.
fortress that you created, my friend? That you
No,
designed?
this one is not one I created. Otherwise, I'd know where it was. I don't know where this one is. I've never seen it.
Also means it'll be easier to get into.
That's what I was hoping.
Stanislav, she calls out to one of her guards outside the room.
And yes, milady.
Please request that Sherazina attend us immediately.
Yes, milady. And he hurries from the room.
She looks at Zelios and says, I will have my child send a letter of introduction to her great-grandfather for you.
She is related to the Basarab.
She is Basarab.
Hmm.
Well, she took a new name when she married. But she is Basarab.
That is interesting.
Yes, she is Dragomir's sister.
I have not met that one. But I have heard he is child of Ventilla.
Mm-hmm. But the one you seek is her great-grandfather. So she will submit a letter of introduction that you can present.
That would be useful, though there are none in this land that would deny me access.
Of course not, but it will smooth the passage.
Yes. And as he's standing there, Sherazina comes in the room. My lady?
Yes, I would like for you to write a letter of introduction for Master Zelios here, the architect, to your great-grandfather.
I can do that.
Peregrine, please provide her with materials for
Funny
such.
done.
And she begins writing it. And when she gets done the letter of introduction, she actually seals it with a wax seal of the Basarab crest that she wears now.
Thank you, child.
Of course.
And I have matters to speak with you, so wait outside, please.
Yes, milady. And she steps from the room. And Zelios rolls it up and tucks it into a pocket. You know it's going to be crinkled and worn out by the time he gets there a bit, but it's still going to be readable at least. My hope is by getting these last symbols, we can calm the weather. Have you noticed how bad it is?
Yes, our people have.
Aye.
I think we should be able to make it easier to travel and, if not stop the demon, bind its power a bit into the land to stop
Why do you think it has been getting worse?
I don't know for sure. I think it is getting stronger, trying to break free. That is my only guess.
Of course it did.
It has always tried to break free.
But never like this.
Yes, but what the Tzimisce have been doing to contain it is not a solution. What they've been doing has always been a temporary fix.
A placation.
Yes.
No, there's only one solution. If you
Although this
cannot
is-
destroy it, then you permanently cage it.
That would be my goal. I did not know when I was designing these fortresses that was the end result. It is odd that I only recently learned what I was doing, but I have built these fortresses to a geometric pattern I just learned about.
I would love to hear your stories of Egypt sometime.
It is a difficult place for us at times. The followers of Set are engaged in constant war with the followers of Osiris. I learned much from their temples till I was forced to depart. I am afraid my name does not have the weight there as it does here.
Regardless, you are here now.
For the moment. But if you are to do this from me, I cannot stay. I must depart.
You are welcome to stay until the next eve, if you require.
Perhaps a night and a day of rest will help.
Of course.
Thank you for your hospitality.
It is the least we can do for the architect of our domicile.
And if you have need of anything, simply alert a rat.
You really have embraced Hannibal's ways, haven't you?
I disagree with him, not his methods.
I disagree with both at times. But that is because so much to build. And just for a second, you see the hint of the animation come back to his face.
Mm-hmm.
I beg your leave.
Of course. One of the guards outside will escort you to quarters for you.
And he almost smiles, almost. I will let them show me rather than show them.
Or at least pretend. Make it a game.
Yes. Please, humor them.
Yes.
It
And
helps them feel like they're doing their job.
And he steps into the hallway, and one of the guards pokes ahead in. Ma'am?
See him to his quarters, please. He's a guest.
Yes, milady. And he turns and escorts him out.
May I do something real quickly?
Sure.
And I'm gonna find the next rat that I can see.
Oh, there's more than one and hidden.
Yep.
You've got like little cubbies where they're not in plain sight, but they're there so they can be called upon.
Yeah. I've designated where they can put their nests, essentially. But I'm going to ask them if the one that they led out actually left the city or if he's sticking around, the one who was Vikos' messenger.
Oh, he would still not be too far.
He had a room at the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rat followed him. You haven't heard back from the rats yet.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm just
the
telling
last
them, like,
report
get
you
that
had was
information to me.
he left the area. He left your tunnels.
Okay. I'm going to have a couple of them just assigned to watch him.
While Snatcher's talking to the rats, I'm gonna hand Gwen the paper. I don't recognize any of these names. Peregrine, do you? Since you and Olga have left with the longest among us.
Would she know or heard of Goratrax?
Probably not Goratrix, not yet. The town you know of, it is about a week's ride in this weather to your northeast. If the weather was nice, no, Timisera is to your northeast. If the weather was good, you could actually be there in 3 days. But in the current weather, not quite so fast.
Sherazina, tomorrow eve, we will be departing. I need you to rule in our stead and advise Miguel when he returns that we had to fulfill an obligation to Micah Vikos.
Yes, milady. Is there anything else?
That is all. Is there anything you need to advise me of?
The serfs are not happy at the moment between the weather and the increased demands that they've been put on the farmers by the diet. I fear if it continues for too much longer, we may have problems.
I believe it is tied to the demon in the earth. And Master Zelios is working on trying to contain it and control it better.
If the weather was better, that might help with the issue that the diet is causing.
Yes.
The loss of crops are making it very hard for a number of the serfs to make their fees.
Yes.
The lien that goes against them. So
I'm working with trade to try and get more wheat in different ways in different places.
I will see about trying to work with the lords to get them to ease up just a little.
If you want, I could put forth efforts to see if we can smuggle some crops in, but that would mean stealing them from elsewhere.
The problem is the weather's affecting all of Transylvania.
Mm.
So all cities and towns are going to be facing the same shortages we are. Ultimately, we must solve the problem any way we can.
At least this time it's not a bunch of rats.
True. But I understand, Sherazina, and I do not wish for our people to be under undue duress. However, times are lean right now. We must all do what we can to survive. And hopefully, this struggle will only be temporary.
That's the hope. I hope they don't push things too. We've all heard the rumors of some of the revolts out in the Western lands, far beyond ours. I think
If there were
Spain and those areas, there was
yes,
uprisings.
yes. If it becomes too dire, instruct the council to release funds to the people. It does no good for a nation to be rich if there's no people to live within it.
So many of the nobles of this land have forgotten. Yes, they are rulers of their lands, but that comes with an obligation.
Exactly. That is what I made sure I instructed you in.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes. It does no good to rule with a greedy iron fist if you have nothing but ash to rule.
Very well. I just knew I would be remiss in my duties if I did not relay my concerns.
Absolutely, and your concerns are valid. If it becomes too dire, have them release funds, and if they want to give you any lip, tell them it is on my order, and any who do not adhere to it will suffer the consequences.
I'm not worried about the city itself. The farmers and serfs aren't here. All we have in the city to worry about is the merchants' guilds, but
no, the
they
serfs need care. They need to be able to feed their families. They need to make sure they have healthy baby deliveries. They need to make sure they have these things. Ensure the council delivers it, and if they don't, I will take their heads. And replace them with a better council.
Yes, milady.
You're doing well, Shalazina. You're dismissed.
And she turns and leaves the room, leaving you all by yourselves to make your plans and to discuss what you need to discuss. There's been a lot of events tonight. And you know what they say, there's no coincidences when it comes to Gehenna. I will say, Peregrine, all you would know of Goretrix, you have Tzimisce allies. He is a Tremere usurper, which means he is a mage, but he is a mage who stole the boon of Cain, because it is not considered a curse at this time.
Not only that, but stole it from a Tzimisce.
Oh, and you know who they stole? They stole, well, you know who Tremere stole his power from. That is common knowledge, that he ate Salute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of us believe that actually happened the way they're saying it did.
But yes, you do know that they stole it from the Tzimisce, because the Tzimisce are quite vocal about the fact that the Tremere usurped power from them first.
In the letter that Micah was like, let's not let anybody else have this satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I turn it over to the players to discuss these events, because it's a lot of things all at once that are important, I think.
After properly reading the letter, Snatcher is going to pick up a pebble, check its heft, and then throw it as hard as he can against the wall in frustration. I cannot believe that I'm going to have to be escorting one of them.
Likely, by the way the letter is worded, to his ultimate demise.
We can hope.
Even to be the
or
one who
a
delivers
worse
to
punishment.
It is its presence alone that I am dreading.
Oh, trust me, the feeling is mutual.
I will have to find out if Goretrix was one of the ones to perform the gargoyle rituals, as I've been hearing. Because that will be information that will be quite useful for the rest of the clan.
Mm-hmm.
It would be.
Yes.
Oh, well, of course, Miguel gets spoiled. He's going to have to miss this.
Of course.
But honestly, Snatcher, we are fortunate to have you in our envoy, as you are the closest to Micah Vikos that we have.
Would you like his ring?
Sure.
And she
I'll hold
passes
it
his ring.
out.
I have one just like it.
And then he closes his hand, turns it around, and it's gone.
Old tricks.
Augustine, you may need to leave instruction for your guards to ensure that the serfs are treated gently.
Of course.
And to try to minimize risk of uprisings. Because, yes, we cannot have that while we are absent.
Daniori comes from the guards. He was chosen specifically because of his connection. I trust him to make the good judgments.
Good.
Yeah, the death of his wife under those particular circumstances hardened him in a way that he wasn't before. He has become one hell of a Lasombre now that he was embraced.
So, have him coordinate with Sharazina.
Of course.
And because she has learned well. She has learned how to rule well. And if he understands and has come up from close to those ranks himself, the two of them, I believe, will do well. The main thing is, as I told her, we need to make sure that the people, the poor, are cared for.
Always.
Yes. Because they are the lifeblood of any city. They are the ones who do the hard work. The ones who provide the bread that feeds everyone.
As well as the various refugees I've taken under my care.
Exactly.
They are a large part of that, and William will be able to support them if
Good.
they need it.
And if he needs any assistance, he can go to our child for such. Pelican, how is your school going? How is your widow's homes?
Good. They're doing great, actually.
Good.
And what I can do is speak to the Merchants Guild, get a letter from that, so that the schools, the Ranta Granny, and all of the other social services that we have are going to be reported to Sherazina by one person.
Good.
I already have sliding scales within the Merchants Guild to qualify and actually help the serfs. So it's more of a barter system. If they don't have the money to pay for what they need, then they barter with something else. So it's not all reliant on money for at least the serfs.
I understand, but understand that with these lean times, the serfs may not have as much to barter with.
Hence the sliding scale.
Yes.
We already have it so that depending on how many people are in a home and what they need, then we ask for a little bit of this or a little bit of that. Or time working within one of the guilds that they're qualified for. So it's more of if they want to work for it. Someday they'll call it sweat equity, but if you put in the work, we give you the stuff, we give you the bread and the food for free.
Got you.
Or if you turn around and train somebody,
Yes.
tit for tat.
Excellent.
So
Excellent. Encourage more offerings of this program,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if the weather does not let up soon, people are going to get desperate.
I have, and I wanted to bring up an idea really quick. The grannies are doing what they can with the orphans, but with the parents that happen to have to come in and work, I'm looking to try and put a program in place so that they can watch the abundance of children that are coming into the city, and that can be a bit of sweat equity. For not only the
Absolutely.
grandmothers, but for the parents as well.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Then I'll put that into place tonight.
Volunteer only.
Oh,
Those
naturally.
who wish to do it. Yes.
But we'll give them a little bit of an incentive
Oh, of course.
to help with the sliding scale.
Absolutely. But only those who are willing to do the work.
Oh, naturally. If you don't do the work, you can't get it.
Right.
That's simple.
But you don't want people who don't want to deal with children. Really.
Oh, no, this is
caring for
part of our-
children.
True, this is part of our
Yeah.
widows and grandmothers.
Yes.
So if it's the grandmothers, they can add a little bit more and less of the rent they have to pay and less of the food that they have to buy for their particular
Oh, good.
area.
Yes, I think that will work well. It's a good idea.
Okay. Child daycare or something like that. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
Could I put that into implementation tonight?
Wouldn't children only be cared for during the day?
Not all the time. There's swing shifts down into the evenings in some of our districts, especially with booklaying, grinding of wheat and grains, things like that.
I suppose I'm more just remembering when it was nighttime, I wasn't cared for. I ran off and did different things.
Well, naturally, but you were in a very different time setting, and Londinium was not exactly the best to care for children, if you don't remember.
To be completely honest, I doubt I would ever want to go back for similar reasons.
I'm sure it's
And many
changed in the past
more.
200 years.
In Kiev, children were very important. Children were your prosperity. It was a harsh land. It wasn't easy. And bearing healthy families wasn't easy. The children were everyone's children. And we made sure they were cared for. They were the priority.
What's that new saying? It takes a village.
But only during the day, apparently, in London.
Yes, that doesn't work.
Blame not my mother. She had priorities that she had to take care of.
I'm sure. But yes, there were women that had priorities as well and their children were cared for.
Well, let us not repeat the human mistakes of the past, then.
Exactly. This young kingdom can thrive in so many ways. We have so many natural resources. We have the potential to become great. Trade, education, culture. But it only works if our children thrive. And that doesn't just mean the human ones. The ones we embrace as well. They must be reared properly, taught to thrive.
And also taught how to avoid debts to Zamisi in the future.
Now, that isn't so terrible. He wants us to escort a guy into the Tremere stronghold, likely. It is Zelios I have a problem with wanting us to paint on their walls.
Oh, I can do that.
It's easy, really.
I'm just
Just a
ashamed that I
little
can't.
bit.
I'm just ashamed that I can't paint something crude.
I mean, who says you can't?
Yeah. Please. We knew you were going to do it. Don't try to play innocent with us. That may work with your grandmother, but it won't work with us.
Laborers did that all the way back in ancient Egypt.
You're looking at a former one.
Akhenaten was here.
And sometimes even some lewd things. But
You think all
Maybe.
arrows had points to them, my friend? They did not.
Do you remember the saying, just a tip? May or may not have been scribed several times in several Latin books that I did when I was a child because I was pissed at my brothers.
Yes.
So I don't read.
Oh!
But we
is
have our
that
tasks.
all?
We have our tasks. I will take my leave if there's nothing else.
May I walk and talk with you for a moment?
Of course.
And I suppose Augustine and I will head off if
Okay.
Olga and Peregrine wanted
So
to
we'll
talk
come
a bit
back to
more.
Olga and Peregrine, or Olga and Gwen after you two are done your scene so they can have a final little chat.
I'm guessing we have a decent idea of what's down here with us and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's your domain.
Okay.
Normally, you don't know how Octavio got in, first of all. Zelios obviously would have the back doors in. Most people cannot find their way in there. It actively works against them finding their way in.
I'm going to lead Augustine through, various halls and all that stuff into basically a storage room where I'm going to throw a cloth off of a decent but not the most expensive mirror. How would you like to participate in something of a test?
It is a strange notion to be brought into a room with you by ourselves and be shown that I still have no reflection. So I'm curious to find out what you want to experiment with.
And you see me reach into my pocket, and then I just sort of let it drop as it hangs from my fingers, as there is a locket on a chain.
But in the
Storyteller, I'm
mirror,
guessing you can describe this better.
yes, it appears to be gold. Very nice, finely crafted. It's got the smallest little hasp on it that would allow it to open. You don't know if it holds a picture. Snatcher does. It does not. It's empty inside. But as it's hanging there, when you look in the mirror, you see the chain complete and whole, but no locket hanging from it. The weight of it shows in the mirror somewhat.
And I'll let it swing back and forth to show that it actually is like as it's shown.
Oh.
That's what I said when I found it.
I see Snatcher's reflection
Yes.
in the mirror.
Yep, in all its scaly glory.
This is very interesting. What is it you want to try to experiment with then?
I want to see what happens when a member of Clan Knight holds it by the chain. I don't want you to wear this.
Thank you for clarification. I'm going to take off my glove and reach out for the locket.
And I'll hang it on his fingers delicately.
When you
and then
hold
look
the
at the
chain,
mirror.
suddenly you see something you haven't seen in centuries. A very hazy, but still quite there, is your reflection in the mirror, holding a chain with a locket. It's very hazy. You can see through it, but you're there.
I'll be damned.
We already are, my friend, but this is... I want to step up and see if it is just a reflection or if it's like a mirage of me.
It is a reflection. Matches you perfectly. And your movement causes the locket to swing. And you realize that as the locket gets closer to you, the haziness fades a little bit. When it's further away, you become more transparent in the mirror. As its arc causes it to be closer to you, you become more defined in the mirror.
You see this, yes? That if I hold it closer to my core, that...
Yes, you become much more clear.
I'm going to hand it back and put my glove back on.
As soon as it leaves, the chain is no longer touching you. You're gone from the mirror again.
I'm going to test
something. But the
something.
locket is also gone.
I'm going to test something real quick, Storyteller, just to make sure. And I'm going to obfuscate while holding it and look into the mirror, see if it still shows me in the mirror that way.
Unfortunately, you would still see yourself. Obfuscate doesn't hide you from yourself. And because Augustine is right there with you when you obfuscated, he also sees you in the mirror.
Oh, no, I'll vanish from mind's eye. I'll hide from him.
Okay.
I'm doing a proper test.
Okay.
Oh, betrayal.
Augustine doesn't have any auspex, does he?
I don't. I chose a different path.
So Snatcher disappears.
I wink at you and then just vanish as you blink, which is odd because you don't remember blinking.
That is
and in the mirror,
rude.
There's no Snatcher, no necklace, no locket.
And I'll just sort of gauge his reaction for a few seconds before I don't know. I kick over like a bucket just to reveal myself because I don't have to concentrate that hard on it.
So you used your ability just now, yes?
I did.
And everything vanished.
So you didn't see me in the mirror at all?
No.
I found something that ties to your clan deeply. And I will...
That is very different than the Star Metal Mellow. This feels more nefarious.
I suppose we should let your sister experience it too.
Let us discover more first. I can hear the cackle. I would rather have concrete plans with these than tests, if you understand what I'm saying.
It's going to be hard to examine further as we're traveling.
But
and I will say,
I'm
it
sure
has
y'all got
no
pocket
reflection.
I have my own test, if you'll allow me, and I'm going to pull out the shard of the abyss mirror that I have.
Okay. It's still a reflective mirror.
Yeah, but I can't see myself.
I'm going to get my knife ready as I see that.
Yeah, good.
What are you
Good
going
have
to do
learned.
with this?
I'm going to hold it up so we're supposed to see both our reflections. And then while he's still holding it, I'm going to hold his hand and the chain in mine.
As you touch, the chain touches you. Are you wearing your glove or did you take your glove off?
No, I'll take my glove off.
As you touch the chain, even in that abyss mirror piece, there's a hazy and indistinct Augustine.
Let go immediately. Put the abyss mirror back. All right, we have test to run, my friend.
Indeed, and I'll pull it obviously into my hand and then put it in a pocket. It's not one of my usual pockets where just any random thing can go. It's a special one. A special pocket, one might say.
Okay.
Which I know makes it sound like I shoved it up my ass, but I didn't.
That's what I thought you were
You
doing.
have hidden pockets in your cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you get these?
The problem with acquiring trinkets is sometimes the how slips by. I retrieved it. I remember unlocking something. But at the time, it was one of many things I took from various places that night. So I couldn't say where. I just know that it was in a puzzle box, which I'm quite fond of. I don't know if I've told you that.
I think you have. I
So
did not know.
Truly, I stole a puzzle box, and that was my reward for opening it.
When did you steal the puzzle box? I don't remember us being around puzzle boxes.
Pick a time, Snatcher. It's yours.
I'd say almost 3 months ago now. It wasn't until I started looking through everything that I noticed the lack of reflection and became curious.
Is there anything else in the puzzle box?
No, just the locket.
And did you test the inside of the puzzle box to a mirror to make sure that nothing was hidden from your sight in a reflection?
I will say yes and then go do that once we are done talking.
Peak Snatcher.
That is so Snatcher.
Yes, allow me to admit my failing and then go correct it while you guys are doing other shit.
Mm-hmm. Good. I would hate for there to be something else in the box that was missed. Well, one problem at a time, I think. I don't want to bring this up around the usurpers.
Oh, no. It is the only thing from my slowly growing collection that I will be bringing along. Everything else will be secured and only accessible by William. But you and I suppose technically your ancestry were more what I was focusing on as the next step. Because while I can hide,
Yes.
you are truly hidden from the reflective world.
Let us do one more test tomorrow before we leave with Daniori. If there's one thing that I've learned from Moncada, it is if you can send your child to do something you do not want to do it.
It helps that my child has had very little direction as to what I want her to do so far. I'm letting her explore.
That is brave. I appreciate you for that.
Only to a certain extent. She doesn't leave the city much.
There'll be time for travel. Be careful with that thing, my friend.
Of course. I have yet to put it on. I'm worried about what might happen.
You and me both, my friend. You and me both as I walk away.
And so, Snatch, you're going to go do and test, right?
I'm going to go test the puzzle box that he just mentioned. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. All right. Well, I didn't do it. Let me go do it now.
You put up a mirror, put something in the puzzle box, see if it's still there, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's normal.
Okay. Once that's done, I go and make sure all my assets are squared away and I'm not like leaving anything lacking before we have to pack up and go.
And give
And then
William instruction and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
These are the places we need to hit by the end of the month, et cetera, et cetera. Keep funds moving towards various businesses when you can find funds spare from our needs, et cetera.
Okay.
Reallocation of wealth, as it were.
Redistribution.
Yep.
So we're going to flash to Olga and Gwen as Augustine and Snatcher have left and you are left in the chamber, just the two of you, private all.
I find it funny watching those two scamper off.
I swear they're always into something.
They're sick as thieves, that's what they are.
Yes, they are.
Well, I look forward to seeing how Sherazina and Augustine's and Snatcher's children get along and see them grow.
Absolutely. Have you thought about doing it?
Denied in human life, denied in kindred life. I'll never know that.
Really?
I was about 10 years into the life. There was an accident. A ghoul had fallen, was dying. It was a test for me to see if I could. It's when my sire realized that her line will die with me because I can't.
Oh,
I'll never know. I'll never know what it is, but it's okay. I have plenty of nieces and nephews within your children. I find it finding a weakness and then finding a strength helps to resolve the pain.
It does.
And
I know that
what?
well.
It's okay. I don't mind being considered an aunt. It's okay. I have ghouls that will attend to me and help me.
As you say.
Phantom realized it too late. As part of one of the curses I received. As part of the boon. But
it's all right.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
Have little nubs for fangs.
Yes. Oof. Imagine that starving every night.
Oh, I know, right?
Yes.
At least I can go. I'm happy about that.
Yes. That is wonderful. But I would say it is a different experience. Sherazina is my first in this existence.
How was it? I've only seen it performed once, besides myself. How is it when you do it? I would never know.
Instincts kick in.
Okay.
You know the moment.
You do?
Yes. Instincts kick in, you know the moment. And there's a choice to be made. Do you destroy them utterly, or do you take them under wing? And it is interesting having that choice. It's nothing like being a mother in life.
Okay.
It was a duty.
But you don't have to spot them.
No, it was a duty in life.
I
had to bear an heir.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I will say there was a slight concern I had.
And that was?
I was worried that I would fail. That she would expire after all the years I had invested in her development and how I had seen her grow. She does make me proud.
Well, that's good. I've seen a lot of what she's done from your training.
She has come a long way from the way of the Basarab to
The way they
the
were
way
trained was different.
a queen should behave.
Do you think she's queen material?
I do. I see her eventually running her own domain.
Well, that'd be grand. We can come in and visit. I'll pretend I'm the old crotchety aunt.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, I know it is. I'm not concerned about leaving her. I know she will do well. I'm certain of it. And if she doesn't, I destroy her and eventually replace her.
I think she's got. You taught her enough backbone.
I did. But to also know where to be benevolent.
True. I think with the social economic scale that we've created, I think that shows her how well, not just absolute rules, but the benevolence as well. It's
Right.
give and take.
It's give and take. It always is.
Aye, completely.
And you can't do it if all you do is take.
Agreed.
There's nothing left.
Just nothing left to grow.
Exactly. But I'm not looking forward to this journey.
I don't think any of us are. I mean, compared to what we've heard about the Tremere and from what I know about Gortrax, he was actually a mage that did the usurping role to turn into us. To think about it, they were mages. From what I've heard, I mean, they've got, so much to live for and so much to do. And then to do this? I can't understand. And I've been
Because they
lying
were
for a
idiot
while.
men.
I've heard there have been idiot women that have done the same.
Did they do it by choice? That is a question.
Agreed. I'd love to meet the females that made the choice to turn into this.
But they were idiot men.
Power and
Because I can
corruption
tell you,
always.
after seeing what Alexander could do, there's no way blood mages could do what he could do.
That's great. Do you miss the old times at least? Or are you happy we're here?
I sometimes get homesick. But from what I hear, things have changed a lot.
Aye, things have changed a lot everywhere.
There was division amongst the kingdom of Kiev and Rus.
What happened?
Infighting over who should run what, and it happens. Enough generations pass and they forget where they fucking came from.
I think they may need a saint to go back home and guide them for a moment or two.
Whenever I have the time.
I'm sure we'll find some time after the trip, I'm sure. I'd like to actually go home.
Yeah.
I haven't been home in, 400 or 500 years. I'd like to see what my line had turned into. My brothers and sisters. The when we met, back in 1198 or 1197, I had a packet with my parents' names, the children, the marriages, the children's children.
Wow.
And I was going to go back home after the little thing we were doing and never got to go back. I have all their names. I'd like to see what has happened we can't declare, because I'm sure Ireland is not where it was when I left it.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of time.
But as homesick as I get sometimes, I realize it's not the home I left.
Sure, it's the memories, though.
It is.
I do still trade with some people in Kievan Roos. Would you like, and I know you're not a very sentiment woman, but would you like a little bit of a spring of the wildflowers? We press them and we kind of solidify them and kind of memorialize them so they stay for at least a good 50 to 100 years.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, if you get a little bit homesick, you can pull it out. We actually put it into paper too.
Mm.
And preserve it with a little bit of, animal fat.
Yes.
And it kind of gives it a nice, clean, glossy look to it.
That would be
and
lovely.
we can put a little flower scent on it too. So when you get a little homesick, you just pull it out and
smells like
what
home.
you wish with it. Exactly. I have been having people work with learning how to do perfuming. We have started to work on a bit of cosmetics because that's coming into fashion now.
Yes, I hear that they have found a new vein of coal.
Yes, but here's the thing. What I wear is from the Middle East called the kukliar.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the kukliar, we use it a different way than what the Western do.
Yes.
So if we can introduce this now, think about this in the future. How well we can blend the East and the West together with fashion, beauty, and at least push that forward with economic trade and some political alliances.
Absolutely.
And that would connect in for your line with making sure we've got all these lovely rulers underneath us. And I can just sprinkle in a little bit of this and that in the Toreador line because I'm such a good Toreador.
You will have to truly put on that mask tomorrow evening.
One little thing. I did learn something.
What is that?
I have learned a skill that if I offer, say, a little drop onto somebody, they have to have it go into their body. Or offer, shall we say, a gold for a drink, paying tithes. I can slowly stop their blood and make it slow, the hemoglobin in their bodies, the blood, to slowly start to strangle them. I'm a perfectly good Toreador. Of course I'll play my tithes. I may just gently kill you.
I will never drink your ghouls.
I will never offer. If I ever offer you a goal, I will guarantee you now, by the goddess herself, they will be always clean. I would never do that to you.
I will never drink your ghouls.
That's fair.
But I am a self-sufficient woman. I can take care of my own needs.
Of course, but that's a little thing that if we have to pay tribute at some time and you tell me we are not friends with him, well, the Assamite and me might want to just make sure that they're dead friends.
Don't get me started on the fucking tributes.
Dearest.
I'm sorry.
How do you think we're going to gain more lands, and how do you think we're going to turn around?
No. That fucking bastard in Sofia. I wish I could have gotten my hands on him myself.
I was preparing.
I know. He completely screwed me.
And my clan, he killed. I have a feeling he killed the Assamite that was there to work with him.
Of course he did. But I'm pretty sure he is no longer among us. When he lost his throne, I believe he lost everything.
Shall I weep now?
No. But, yes, us being a kingdom, but a vassal state.
Yes, but we could turn around and grow this. I know for a fact.
We can become more powerful.
Oh, we will become more powerful. And let's be honest, the Zemixi are not going to rule this land forever. Who do you think the new powers will be? Auckland can take a city. Snatcher, you can, so can I, and have a well done city-state around here or wherever we wish to settle, and we can definitely keep a good power structure together.
We will see.
It's an idea. I like to expand our reach and growth at some point.
I am actually an oddity here. Eastern
Beside
La Sombra.
Oh.
Most of the ones that are here came from the West.
They follow the Catholics. I can teach you that too, if you want. I've written enough books on it.
Oh, dear. I was Orthodox. I know
I know
Catholicism. But why do you think I now have the priest under wing?
Well, true.
I'm going to have influence in the church, too. I can't imagine that
need it.
Miguel will stay with us forever. He is Gangrel. Eventually, his spirit is going to want to wander.
I'm surprised he hasn't started to wander as of yet.
He is still young.
Well, he is. So is Minnie. Augustine. So is Snatcher.
Gosh, they are so young.
They are.
They're getting older, but they're still so young.
But they're learning. And that's what I'm impressed about. They're learning and growing.
They are.
And they're not letting the clan stereotypes stop them. As I've seen it so many times.
I am pleased. But as
I'm
far as
happy
if
about
I
this.
am happy, what is happy? I am satisfied.
I tend to go content. Always room for growth.
For now. Who's to say if I'm satisfied tomorrow?
Mental note, not bring one of my goals, but make sure there's another person ready for you to satisfy you. How's that?
Who says it's people that satisfy me?
Oh, I'm talking about the hunger. The other certification I cannot help.
No, but I am satisfied. We have grown from a port town, basically, a very small city,
Yeah.
to the capital of a vassal kingdom.
Who can say that it can only go up from here? Kind of like, the leaves when they go shooting up into the air.
Well, let me take care of a few things. I need to secure some things before I get ready to leave tomorrow night.
I'll go speak to the council tonight, and I will set up that chief correspondent to go to Jarazina, and I'll set up the childcare and the making sure the sliding skills are correct.
Excellent.
Good. Have a good night.
You as well.
And as the group now go about to prepare for their journey, I think right here is where we're going to end this episode. And somewhere in the lands of Transylvania, outside the cities, on forgotten parts of the Carpathian Mountains, the blood-red flower has begun to bloom once again. Because the time has come. And as spoken, you cannot stop the coming storm or even have its rage. Mere words cannot repress the hatred which courses through 1,000 youngling hearts, nor quiet the temptation of your blood. Thick with its age and strength and cold with power, the ancient war, all but forgotten, stirs afresh. Your blood is the new battlefield. And I'd like to thank my players. Welcome back to Season 3, everyone.
Oof.
There were some revelations. They met with Octavio and heard the prophecies, not always as they were written, but as seen by him, which is different from what is written. They met with Zelios, an agent of Micah Vikos who is called their favor due. They must go find a magus a usurper by the name of Goretrix, who has been summoned back to Seoris, the stronghold of the Tremere. But the storms rage on, and they don't stop. So thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, viewers, for coming out for the start of this brand new season. Don't know how many episodes this season will be. It will be when they complete all their journeys ahead of them. Because Octavio also saw they have a journey ahead. Though I don't think he realized he said those words. Because he muttered to himself at the end about he saw them leaving. Please, everyone, join us on the Discord. That is where we cast this show from. That is where we cast all of our shows. We still have an open casting call as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen it. I noticed that it's closed yet. For anyone who wants to play some Mage the Ascension with Ravnos Archon as the storyteller. He is doing an actual chronicle this time. So join us on the Discord, pop over to the casting couch, read his casting call, and hey, if you want to play in his game, go ahead and apply. It's that simple. He'll decide his cast. So people are aware, Mama and I do not get to say who his cast is. He decides his cast, not us. It is his game, his cast. That's how we let all of our storytellers operate. So you want to catch back episodes? Maybe you want to catch season 1 and 2 of Vampire Dark Ages, or you want to catch Kansas City. We've got Changeling that just ended, Changeling Stained Glass. Monster of the Week, which is the Monster of the Month serial we're doing. You can check that out. We've got Wraith, Demon, Vampire, Werewolf. I mean, we've got it all. So check out our YouTube, catch our back episodes. Lots of good shit on there. If you want to catch some
4.5 years worth of content, y'all.
Yep. Yeah. 4.5 years. Wow, already. Damn. You want to see some D&D or Call of Cthulhu, you check out Ishvel on YouTube. That is where Dr. Tiss and her games go up. Call of Cthulhu, you know, everyone likes a little noodly appendages reaching out and touching you for insanity levels. It's all good, trust me. They only stab things and use explosives whenever Tiss lets her guard down and lets them get explosives. She tries not to let them have much because she knows London would burn or explode. One of the two. If you want to catch some amazing content creators, 2 of them are at this table right now. You can check out the RPG table down here. Wait. There we go. Down there, the RPG table, Junie. I'll give her a chance in a little bit to talk about what she's got going on. And the Ravnos Archon over here. He also runs his own channel, but of course you'll see him in Mage, which I heard the rumor is Mage is starting when this ends. If this ends earlier than 10 episodes, there'll be a slight break to give people a break, but Mage will be starting. Do we have a first date for it, don't we?
I believe it's April 24th.
Something like that?
Maybe. Sounds right.
Yeah. So
End of April.
So there'll be late April.
April 24th.
Yep, is when Mage starts up. So definitely keep an eye on that. You want to get you some merchandise? We've got some McStabber Studios merchandise at our merch store. Check that link out. If you want to get it, there will at some point be an Uncle Oski t-shirt because Junie's working on that right now. And, you know, everyone likes Uncle Oski. He's a good babysitter, a good troll babysitter.
He's a really tough troll, grumpy motherfucker who has a
Super
soft
tough.
spot for the children.
No soft spots.
All the soft spots. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. And of course, as always, everybody, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for you to give to the players. Just a way to appreciate the effort they put into this. If you want to give to the studio, subscribe on Twitch, pop over to our Ko-fi. If you don't want to do either one or you're watching on YouTube, hey, on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon. That's important. And comment on the video. All that increases the engagement, which means more people get to see our videos. And that's one way to support the studio. Trust me, we're not going to get rich off of YouTube ever. But the more people that see our streams, the more people that share our stories. And that's really what we do this for, is to share our stories with other people. That's the most important part. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for the schedule because guess what? We got a schedule.
Yes, we do. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for the season 3 premiere of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages, our Transylvania Chronicle. Ooh. Coming up over the next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us for the season 2 premiere of Vampire the Masquerade V5, Kansas City, A Domain Divided. Yeah.
It's kicking off with a bang.
It is. I mean, we are in contested turf, and there's a fucking sect war going on in this area. So, you know what? Expect shit to be explosive first session. It's great. It's great. Yeah, so join us, 8 p.m. Eastern. You really don't want to be late to that. I'm looking at a few of you. Be there on time if you can. Otherwise, do plan on catching the VOD. Don't ask what you missed because you will have missed too much. Okay? And on Saturday, there is no stream this Saturday, but that's okay because we'll be back here Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with the episode 2 of season 3 of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages. Y'all, it's time for, we're back in the swing of War Crime Wednesday.
They've got a journey of only a week, but it's a week of hellish weather.
Yeah.
Earthquakes, rain,
Yeah.
all the bad shit, lightning,
Almost.
just fucked up shit.
Almost a week of nightmares, one might call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny how that happened.
You having a prophecy too?
Prophecy, nah.
I'm having a problem.
Gwen said it herself. Kindred history moves in a fucking circle.
I had a prophecy once, but the doctor gave me some pills and cleared it right up.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you got rid of that.
Yeah, because, if it lasts more than 4 hours, if your prophecy lasts more than 4 hours, seek medical attention. I'm just saying.
Something's got to get drained.
Yeah. So, take care of that. Now we'll let people talk about what they got going on. Gwen, Junie Von Esch, what you got going on?
Well, on my own channel, we are not only making in Uncle Oski the training in, what is it, babysitting training? I don't remember exactly what I have on the cup, but it's there. We also are starting on that uppity bitch that poisons folks too. So you're going to get 2 of them. I'm doing mix and match. I'm doing both of those, and then I'm switching on and off, and we are making emotional support, angry coffee mugs, come in different flavors because, you gotta get angry at sometimes and you can't do it at work. So you just let this little guy do it for you. It's all good. Vampire mugs will be available too. RPG table. We are on, I think we have like 4 episodes left, and then we are done for the season and taking a couple months off. So that will be exciting too. So stay tuned on Wednesdays and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on. You'll see me back here on Wednesday. And then next Thursday, I believe I'm on somebody's scampy stream for 7th Sea.
Yeah, I wonder about that stream. Speaking of which, Augustine, Chew will love it on Twitter, Ravnus Archon in most places. Tell everybody what you got going on, where they can find you.
Well, hi, everybody. I have my own channel here on Twitch where I do TTRPG stuff. Mondays, I've dedicated to a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, 2-part story following a Camarilla coterie and an Anarch coterie. Tuesdays, I alternate between Werewolf of the Wild West and Legend of the 5 Rings. And Thursdays, I alternate between 7th Sea, which has Junie in her best German accent. And I alternate that with Old Gods of Appalachia, which just ended our miniseries here with Preacher Green. Which was such a treat to be an actual player in. And then Wednesdays here, you can catch me being the lovable scamp that has never committed a war crime in his life, Agustin of Clan La Sombra. You know that.
You were just accessory too.
I am, yes, I am in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And you were mighty invested. You walked right in.
100%. I'm being guided by forces outside my control.
That's not a defense.
But I do try to immediately decompress any kind of social anxiety with comedy, as you saw tonight. So, get ready for more of that.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're going with? Okay. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
I still
that's my coping mechanism.
I'm having a premonition.
I had a
premonition. Had a prophecy.
Mm-hmm. And as always, everybody, when we end these streams, I want to tell you mental health. It's not a joke, not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously. Take the mental health of others seriously. Check in on those around you, especially people you haven't heard from for a while. Please make sure they're okay, because we're still in the middle of winter. A lot of people are not okay. And just in general, the world's not a good place at the moment. So a lot of people are having trouble coping. So reach out to them. Be that lifeline they need. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. But I want you to reach out to your own support network. And if you don't feel you have one, because I know a lot of people aren't comfortable discussing it, even though you should be, in chat right now is a list of numbers. You can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can get the help that you need. There'll be a professional to talk you through it all. Because everybody, listen, mental health is health. And we want you to be okay, and we want you to take care of yourself. And you can do anything you want to try to take care of your body. But if you don't take care of your mental health with it, you're not going to fix things. You know, that's one half. You got to work on both halves. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
Yeah, so definitely take care of your mind, your emotions. Yeah, because they kind of coincide with everything else that you have going on. Take care of your body, too. Get your damn shots. For real. COVID isn't going anywhere. It's just going to continue to mutate over time. Kind of like the Spanish flu. Never went anywhere. But the current flu shot protects you from dying from it. Yeah. So, yeah. Just because the government says a pandemic is over doesn't mean a disease has been cured. It's still floating around. And it still sends people to the hospital, and it still kills people. Please get your vaccines. Also, make sure you are registered to vote if you are an American citizen and able to vote. If you have a loved one that's a convicted felon and can no longer vote, make sure you're registered to vote. Because that should honestly change. Make sure your registration is accurate. Make sure it's still in effect. Because clerical errors can happen, or flat out voter suppression can happen. Be vigilant. Make sure you can perform your civic duty, because it really is a duty to vote. Because if you don't vote, you're not helping anyone, including yourself. Said with love.
And I do thank everyone for coming. It's going to be an interesting season, everyone. Get ready to meet some fun people. Good night, everybody. There is no saving you.